For Boston Red Sox baseball has been brought to you by Aflac. Aflac, ask about it at work. Pedro Martinez is ready for his 7th consecutive opening day start in a Red Sox uniform on a cold night in Baltimore. Live from Orioles Park at Camden Yards, NESN presents Boston Red Sox baseball. Tonight, the Red Sox begin their 2004 campaign. Hi, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball on opening night. And, Jerry, with the way last year ended, it seems Red Sox Nation was clamoring for tonight.
Well, people can't wait for opening night here against the Baltimore Orioles. You know, it's amazing, Don, after such a devastating loss against the Yankees, the Red Sox Nation has never really lost faith in this ball club. And the reason is because they immediately went out and they got better. They got Kurt Schilling, they got Keith Folk in the pitching rotation, and they added some depth to the ball club. So this is a ball club that people have tremendous confidence in. Expectations are very high, not only among the fans, but also among the players on this team. New manager Terry Francona takes over tonight. We see his first game as the Red Sox manager. The only problem is at the start of the season, they're going to have to do it without Nomar Garciaparra and Trot Nixon, 2 key players, and their schedule is very difficult in the month of April.
Well, a very chilly night. We're back with the first pitch of the season after this.
The 500 horsepower Dodge Ram SRT10.
Hi, Ryan.
Hey. The fastest production truck in the world. Who are we? We are movies. We are sports. We are multimedia made to order. We are a smiling face. We are a solution at hand. We are ready, willing, and capable. Allow us to reintroduce ourselves. We are Comcast, recharged, refocused, and ready to surprise you. If you thought you knew us before, just wait, because that was then. This is Comcast.
Hi, we're Bare Naked Ladies. Come on, Bruins fans, make some noise! Woo!
Tickets are on sale now for wicked intense playoff action at the Fleet Center. Plus, ask about season tickets for the 2004-2005 season.
But if you haven't been to see a playoff hockey game, it will be one of the most entertaining sporting events you will ever go to. Yeah. So, go.
Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts, by Nissan, by Miller Beer, by Foxwoods Resort and Casino, your New England Jeep dealers, and by Southwest Airlines. Well, a frigid night tonight at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Appears to be near a sellout here, as you might imagine. Some new seats, but plenty of Red Sox fans on hand here tonight to begin this 2004 campaign. And really, compared to what the forecast was supposed to be today, this is actually very comfortable conditions, as Pedro Martinez very much in game face mode, ready to go here tonight as he was, arriving better than 3 hours before the game, which is very unusual, as he strolled into the clubhouse, ready to go for his 7th opening day start for the Red Sox. His first 3 opening day starts for the Red Sox were all wins. Since then, the last 3 have been no decisions for Pedro. The earned run average of 2.43. And 37 innings overall. Of course, a very tough start for him last year. You might remember in Tampa Bay with the walk-off home run, not against Pedro, but off Chad Fox later in that game, which was a tough way for the Red Sox to start last season with a walk-off loss to the Devil Rays. But tonight was supposed to be snowy and sleety. Jerry will certainly take these conditions.
Oh, absolutely. You know, that's all we heard about for a couple of days, the fact that it was going to be sleet and freezing rain. Now, it's not warm, that's for sure. It's very cold at the ballpark and also very windy, but compared to what we expected, I guess we have to take this. We have no other choice, Don.
Very little. Well, the Orioles take the field. The Red Sox lineup is brought to you by Dodge. Leading off for the Red Sox, Johnny Damon at center field. Bill Miller at third base. Manny Ramirez in left. David Ortiz, the DH. Kevin Millar at first base with Gabe Kapler in right. Jason Varitek batting seventh, doing the catching. Mark Bellhorn in his debut at second base. And Pokey Reese at shortstop, also his debut as he bats ninth. The Red Sox face Sidney Ponson.
You see the numbers last season for Sidney Ponson. That is with the Baltimore Orioles. Now remember, he got traded to the Giants. His overall record a year ago was 17-12. Sidney Ponson became a free agent at the end of the season and right back here to be the ace of the Baltimore pitching staff. The Red Sox will see two different fastballs. The straight fastball, the sinking fastball. They'll see a curveball, slider, and a changeup from Ponson. Let's take a look at the Oriole defense, brought to you by New England Toyota dealers. It'll be Melvin Moore at third base, Miguel Tejada the shortstop. Brian Roberts gets to start at second, and Rafael Palmeiro at first base. Left to right, Larry Bigby, Luis Matos, and Jay Gibbons. Javi Lopez catching Sidney Ponson.
The umpiring crew, Rick Reed in behind the plate, Ted Barrett at first, Ed Rapuano at second, and Alfonso Marquez, the umpire, at third. Now the debut for Terry Francona as the Red Sox manager. Said that he woke up last night, early this morning rather, around 5 a.m. and felt like he was in the midst of a game already, somewhere in the middle of the third or fourth inning. So he has been very ready for this to take place. Got to the ballpark today around noon, and he is as fired up as we've seen anybody around here lately. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Johnny Damon stepping in to face Sidney Ponson. And the first pitch of the 2004 season is in there for strike one. Ponson, a 17-game winner last season. As Damon slashes his foul outside of third, and Johnny is quickly down 0-2.
Well, Ponson has not had great luck against the Red Sox. As a matter of fact, in his career against Boston, a 1-9 record. The native of Aruba.
One of your favorite venues. They notice the brick in behind home plate. That is a new touch here at Camden Yards. Look at the brick with the runway also back there they've added here.
What they've done is they've added about 3 or 4 rows of seats right behind home plate. Bring them a little closer to the field.
It's not the only place they have added seats here, as this is tapped towards Tejada, throwing on the run and in time to get Damon.
Well, a lot of changes for this Baltimore Oriole team in the offseason, led by Miguel Tejada, one of the top players in the American League. They had a lot of money to spend this offseason, and they were trying to buy just about every free agent.
And a look at Javi Lopez, who had a breakout season last year with the Atlanta Braves. And a backstop for the Orioles. A great offensive lineup for this Baltimore Orioles team. The big question is the pitching, as we look at last year's batting title winner, Bill Miller. And the .326 batting average was good enough last year to win the batting title. To left down the line, Bigby moving over towards foul ground, but he won't get there in time as lands harmlessly in foul ground.
And we've mentioned on many times how excited Red Sox fans are about the upcoming season, but this is the most excitement we've seen in Baltimore in quite a while because of the major moves they have accomplished in the offseason. The problem, as you touched on, is going to be their pitching. I mean, this is the ace of the pitching staff, Sidney Ponson. After that, a lot of inexperience.
For instance, we'll see Eric Jabos in game 2 of the series, Kurt Ainsworth and Matt Riley. Those are not names that jump out at you, but that is the starting rotation for the Orioles out of the gate. Again to Tejada at shortstop, and again the put out, 2 down.
And that's something you don't want to have happen on a cold night here in Baltimore. Get jammed, and that was an excellent pitch by Sidney Ponson. No balls, 2 strikes. A hitter kind of has a tendency to look away, thinking they're going to waste one. Instead, he comes inside and really jams Bill Miller.
Here's Manny Ramirez batting in the number 3 spot. Just winning the batting title by a point last year, hitting at .325. Manny now 31 years of age. Led the team in home runs with 37 of them last year, even though it was kind of an off year home run wise for Manny Ramirez.
You may see a lot of that tonight, especially with these cold conditions. Both these pitchers trying to work with their fastball inside.
This is away that time, and it's 2-1 now to Ramirez.
That fastball clocked at 97 miles an hour from Ponson. That seems a little high, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
But he is a hard thrower. He's usually in the mid-90s.
This one fouled off. This is also the anniversary, Jerry, of the Dale Nomos no-hitter here when the Red Sox had played to game 2 of that season against the Baltimore Orioles. And that night it was Sidney Ponson who pitched against the Red Sox. And over the first 5 innings, I think you'll agree, Sidney Ponson was the better pitcher at that time.
Exactly right. And Nomo kind of snuck up on everybody that night.
43 degrees here at game time tonight. 2 down in the first inning. Line to right, and Manny Ramirez has his first hit of the season. Jay Gibbons moving over to cut it off. Manny aboard with 2 down here in the first inning.
Now, Manny didn't have a terrific spring, that's for sure, but he hit his first home run in that Atlanta series right at the end of spring training, and this is a great example why Manny is such a great hitter. That ball middle away, and he'll just take that ball to the opposite field.
Now David Ortiz, in the absence of Nomar Garciaparra to begin the season, and the cleanup spot for the Red Sox, acting as the DH tonight. Ortiz sends it foul off the left side.
David Ortiz has had great success against Ponson. 381 in his career with 1 home run. That was a mislocation that time by Ponson. Javi Lopez wanted that pitch in. It stayed out over the plate. You just saw Ponson tap his shoulder or his chest like that was my fault.
Pretty good numbers against Ponson over the course of David Ortiz's career. Foul back below us, and Ortiz down 0-2.
And again, they wanted to go inside with that fastball to Ortiz. That time, a little bit better pitch by Ponson. The first pitch was supposed to be inside. It was away. This was more toward the middle of the plate.
David Ortiz with 7 spring training home runs for the Red Sox. He picked up where he left off last year. They will appeal third. He did not offer, says Alfonso Marquez.
Didn't miss by much. He goes with the slider inside. The check swing by Ortiz.
Ramirez at first, 2 down in the Boston first inning. Ortiz grounds it off himself. A foul ball.
Now he's seen just about all of Ponson's pitches now. The fastball, the slider, that was the changeup. He has not yet seen the curveball. But David Ortiz in this at-bat getting a good look at every one of Ponson's pitches.
Millar waiting on deck in the 5 spot in the Red Sox lineup. The Red Sox without Nomar Garciaparra and Trot Nixon to begin this 2004 campaign.
Looks like the changeup.
He's taking it and evens up now at 2-2. Ponson last year 17-12 between the Baltimore Orioles and the San Francisco Giants, where he finished up last year. Of course, coming back here as a free agent to the Orioles. Ortiz, who had been down on the count 0-2, has gone full circle. It's now full count.
Now, that's been a very good at bat for David Ortiz. He's really making Ponson throw a lot of pitches. And early in the season, that's important. Remember, these guys still are not, going to be very much over 100 pitches in their starts.
Here comes the 7th pitch of the at-bat, and it is lifted foul off of first. That'll make its way back into the well-populated Camden Yards. And Jerry, they have added some seats here down that right field line above the scoreboard. You got a brand new set of stands down there, which is at capacity tonight.
I still love this ballpark, Don.
I think this is my favorite now. I think you've won me over. I like Seattle also, but a lot of charm to Camden Yards. There's to be off with the pitch from first. Ortiz strikes out. Ponson finally gets him. The Red Sox do not score in the first. All eyes will be on Pedro as he takes the hill when we come back.
Everyone procrastinates. Did you mow the lawn?
Not yet. Did you call the dentist?
This can't wait. Call 1-800-CHAMPION today to refinance your home with the best rates in decades. Champion Mortgage works with you one-on-one to help slash your mortgage payments. Use the extra cash for big expenses, home improvements, credit cards. Why wait?
Did you call Champion?
Absolutely.
Rates as low as 4%. Don't miss out. Call 1-800-CHAMPION for your free consultation. Champion says yes.
Wicked hard. Wicked hard.
Dunkin' Donuts introduces the New England Maple Cheddar Sandwich.
Park. I can't find a place to park.
Park. Can't find a place to park.
A delicious combination of real maple-flavored sausage, egg, and melted cheddar. So, for a great New England taste,
I play wicked hard when I go to the park.
get one today.
No. Kurt, you can't do it like that.
Try the New England Maple Cheddar Sandwich or any of our breakfast sandwiches for $1.99. Just the thing.
The wonder of it all. Take a chance, make it happen. Pop the cork, finger snapping. Spin the wheel, round and round we go. Life is good, life is sweet. Grab yourself a front row seat. Let's meet and have a ball. Let's live. Yeah, let's live for the wonder of it all. Meet me at Foxwoods.
Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back at Camden Yards as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Orioles starting lineup, brought to you by Rico. Brian Roberts leading it off at second base. Melvin Moore at third. Miguel Tejada at shortstop. Rafael Palmeiro at first. Javi Lopez doing the catching. Jake Gibbons in right. David Segui, the DH. Larry Bigby in left. Luis Matos batting ninth. In center field facing Pedro Martinez.
Look at the numbers from a year ago for Pedro. The fastball, the cut fastball, the curve, and the changeup for Martinez. As we mentioned earlier, his 7th opening day for the Red Sox. He is 3-0 for the Red Sox on opening day. And he has had great success here in Baltimore in this ballpark. 5-1 with a 1.05 ERA.
Brian Roberts will be the first batter for the Orioles. A switch hitting second baseman. Lops to bat from the left side against Pedro Martinez. Last year spending the season with the Orioles in 112 games. spring training in which you batted .313 in 18 spring training games for the O's. To short, gobbled up by Reese, and was quickly one away.
Well, whoever has been scouting the Orioles for the Orioles has to know that Pedro has not been throwing hard all spring, and to be curious to see how they react to that. Let's take a look at the Red Sox defense, brought to you by Lexus. Bill Miller at third base, Pokey Reese the shortstop, Mark Bellhorn at second, and Kevin Millar at first. Ramirez, Damon, and Kapler in the outfield, and Jason Veritek doing the catching.
Now Melvin Mora, who has played shortstop here for the Orioles, the outfield, is starting at third base to begin the season for the Orioles. Last year, he was the Orioles' lone all-star representative in 2003 before missing most of the second half of the season with various injuries. Signed last year a 3-year deal that'll keep him here in Baltimore through the 2006 season. It's softly down the third baseline. Miller on the run, throws high, and will pull Millar off the bag.
Now, Bill Miller, for the most of spring training, had been bothered by a bad elbow, and he had a couple of bad throws in that Atlanta series toward the end of spring training. I think this is more just a tough play for Miller than having anything to do with his elbow. Throw will go high and wide, and have to pull Millar off that first base bag. It goes as a base hit for Melvin Mora.
Well, here is the big season pickup by the Orioles, Miguel Tejada. Last year had an off year after winning the American League MVP with the Oakland A's the year before last. Well, last year found out before the season that his team, the Oakland A's, were likely to be in the running for his services, which was kind of strange leading into the season. He had kind of an off year last year, looking to bounce back here in his first year in Baltimore. Had a very good spring training. Up top, and it's 1-1.
Fastballs so far for Pedro have been registering in the high 80s.
That's really where he was all spring training. Well, certainly some wondered whether he would be able to turn the switch on that situation here tonight to begin the season. In the air down the right field line, Kapler ranging over. That'll get back and out of play.
Now that one had a little bit more pop on it. That one's up to about 91 miles an hour. Pedro going up and away from Miguel Tejada. A little bit late on the swing and fouling it off down that right field line. Good to see the right-hander late on the fastball.
First, one down. The 1-2. In the air to right center field. Moving over is Kapler, and Damon. It'll be Johnny Damon in right center. The wind is going to play havoc, I think, with just about anything in the air tonight. But Damon recovers there, and there's 2 down.
Yeah, it's tough to tell inside the ballpark which way the wind is blowing. You see some of those flags blowing out to left field, but if you look at the flags outside the ballpark, it's really blowing hard from left field line to right field line.
2 down in the inning. Melvin Mora at first, and here's Rafael Palmeiro returning to the Orioles. Most of the Texas Rangers over the last few seasons.
Red Sox put the shift on the infield for Palmeiro.
Well, Nesson and Comcast would like to welcome viewers to tonight's game, our first telecast of the 2004 regular season. A special welcome goes to those Comcast subscribers in the New Haven, Connecticut area who are enjoying Nesson's Red Sox coverage for the first time. Welcome aboard. Evens up at 1-1 to Palmeiro.
Another good sign there is Palmeiro a little bit late on that fastball for Martinez. We mentioned the shift they have on Raphael. He becomes strictly a pull hitter. Well, I guess for probably about the last 10 years of his career.
This last year becoming the 19th player in Major League history to hit 500 home runs. Opposite field and out of the reach of Bill Miller, lunging. Hitting for third is Mora, and the throw to third is in time. Nicely covered by Pokey Reese at third base. Mora's gone, and so are the Orioles in fantastic fashion in the bottom of the first.
It's about sincerity, trust, and understanding. It's about doing the right thing for our customers. It's so simple, yet it says so much. It's who we are, and it's the only way we know how to be. Sakuchi Lincoln Mercury Honda. Our reputation is your protection.
Over 8 million drivers feel really good riding with Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
For extra convenience, extra value, and extra service, stop at Extra Mart. When you're on the go, you need a little extra. Fuel up on Extra Mart's Deli Joe sandwiches, Brew Boy coffee, and more.
This month, Extra Mart is your baseball headquarters. Come in for the best in Major League collectibles and trading cards from Upper Deck, Topps, Fleer, and Donruss. Enter to win a trip for two to the 2004 All-Star Game in Houston.
With over 150 locations throughout New England, be smart. Shop Extra Mart.
Back in Baltimore, no score after one, and what a play by Pokey Reese to get that final out of the inning. Now, it's a little bloop on a changeup. Manny's looking for somebody to cover third, and Pokey Reese comes all the way over. Remember, we told you they had that shift on? Well, he was on the right side of second base, and Pokey Reese somehow makes it over to third base and make that tag on Melvin Mora. What a great play by Pokey Reese. Look where he's playing. He's playing to the right of second base, and he just continues on with the base runner, actually beats the base runner to third base and makes the tag.
That's the reason the Red Sox picked him up. Great defense. And here he's able to get more out at third base as Kevin Millar stands in. Millar batting fifth in the Red Sox order. Millar, Kapler, and Veritek. They Sidney Ponson, who faced four batters in the first inning. Ramirez was able to single. But otherwise, a very quiet first inning for Ponson. 2 groundouts. And then the strikeout of David Ortiz to end the inning. Millar grounds it foul outside at third, and it's 1-2. Enjoying his finest Major League season in his first Red Sox campaign last year. Career bests in just about every offensive category. 25 home runs, 96 RBIs. To Hopper to short. Tejada, who's been busy, takes care of Millar for out number 1.
Red Sox fans have purchased more than 2.3 million tickets for this season, a record pace, but thousands of tickets are still available. You can obtain tickets online at redsox.com or by calling 877-RED-SOX-9.
One down, and it brings up Gabe Kapler getting the start in right field in the absence of Trot Nixon. By all accounts, is rehabbing very well so far as he goes through the rehab process for his back. Kapler hits one under the glove of Melvin Mora. Makes its way into left field, and Gabe, who had a great spring, reaches first base.
That That's a ball that probably could have been, should have been played by Melvin Mora down at third base. Ball hit pretty well by Kapler, but Mora just had to make one step to his right, or left, I should say, and never got the glove down. They always tell infielders work from the ground up with the glove, and you can see why on that particular play right there.
They charge Melvin Mora with the error. And it brings up Jason Varitek.
Boy, that wind is really whipping around in the field right now.
Tough to tell which direction it's going, and it seems like it's just a swirling wind. The flags are not helping us out too much, as the ones in left center blowing a different direction from the ones in right center.
Varitek also had great success against Ponson. 360 with a couple of home runs.
Check on Kapler's back in time. See the numbers against Ponson for Varitek. Of course, last year his first appearance in the All-Star game.
I think the delay here is they're trying to get somebody to shut off maybe a camera light in the stands. It was bothering Brian Roberts out at second base. He notified the umpire, and now the umpire is trying to get the attention of those in the stands. There it is. It's off.
Trying to do a live shot during the game.
Yeah, and, you know, one of those fan things. How do you like the ballpark? How do you like the new team? We'll probably see that on the news when we get back tonight.
Yes. Also that it ended very abruptly. And their first strike, and it's 1-1 now to Varitek.
I was thinking, Don, it's not only the players that are nervous in this ball game tonight, opening day. You have to be. Both managers, Terry Francona and Lee Mazzilli, the new manager of the Baltimore Orioles, they both have to be very nervous. Matter of fact, I know Francona is. He walked right by me today, and he always says hi. He was like in another world.
You got nothing. There you go. He'll check third, yes, as Alfonso Marquez. Varitek now down to the count 1-2.
Ponson jumps ahead of Varitek on a fastball. Looked like a sailing fastball that time.
Missing to Varitek, and it's 2-2.
A lot of times on a night like this, with these cold conditions, it's tough with the breaking pitch. You know, a lot of guys who throw a curveball say it's tough to get the grip on the baseball when it's this cold. I can tell you from experience, it's not fun hitting on a night like this.
43 degrees to begin the game tonight. I'm sure it's going south of that as we move along tonight.
Well, 3-2. We'll see if they run Kapler at first base on the 3-2 count.
Something the Red Sox did a lot last year under Grady Little, as we'll now learn the tendencies of Terry Francona. And there goes Kapler. Varitek swinging and fouling it off, also fracturing his bat in the process.
You see what Ponson did there too on the 3-2 count. He went to the slide step just in case there was a strikeout. That would give Javi Lopez a better chance at second base. Slide step, didn't hardly kick that leg up at all. And the broken bat by Jason Varitek.
Lengthy at bat here for Varitek. This will be the 7th pitch of the at bat. There goes Kapler again, and Varitek carves it foul off to the left. Well, earlier, Jerry, you mentioned that Sidney Ponson, who it seems has pitched a great deal against the Red Sox, really has not fared very well. He is 1-9 against the Red Sox in his career, 6.56 earned run average in 12 career games against Boston. It is the highest ERA that he's had against any other opponent. Kapler off again, and Varitek swinging again, fouling it off. Ponson's lone win against the Red Sox came on September 22nd of 2000. A complete game at Fenway Park, so it has been a while for Sidney Ponson in the win department against the Red Sox. Again, the 3-2 will have to wait as some checks on Kapler again has been off. Not a lot of steals, but accurate. Kapler off. Veritek striking out. The throw down is going to be close and in time. Strike him out, throw him out to end the second inning. The Red Sox getting nothing. We're through an inning and a half. No score for Baltimore.
Honey, would you be a dear and pick up your brother?
Faster?
Brother, soccer 6.
Good. What on earth could you and your grandma be talking about for 3 minutes?
Is your family's wireless plan costing you a fortune? Take your number to T-Mobile, where families talk free.
Free? Free.
Now families talk free. 2 lines, just $49.99.
T-Mobile, get more.
This is me.
Honey, this is us.
Life is filled with tempting choices. For a limited time, Friendly's is too with our 3 new super melts, like our new Philly steak and cheddar, sauteed peppers and onions, tender steak, melted cheddar, piled high on grilled sourdough bread. And our 6 featured super melts now come with a free hot fudge sundae. So give in. Our new super melts won't be around long.
When we switched to Harvard Pilgrim, it was a big deal because even though we're a small company, it's like we're a big family. I didn't want anyone to worry about things like keeping their doctor. But our Harvard Pilgrim rep was there every step of the way. I know that they work with thousands of people like me, but I sure feel like I'm the only one.
Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare, making great healthcare a little easier.
When it starts showing up in video games, don't let the needle-pushing T5 Turbo performance mess with your mind. It's still built like a Volvo. Introducing the all-new Volvo S40.
Second inning from Baltimore. Red Sox and Orioles are scoreless. Javi Lopez, Jake Gibbons, and David Segui face Pedro Martinez in the bottom of the second inning. Obviously, the pitchers are allowed to blow in their hands on the mound tonight. With the 43-degree temperatures to begin the night. Lopez cranks this deep and far to left. Is it fair? Yes, it is, and it's gone. The Orioles leading it 1-0.
Well, talk about making a splash with your new team, as you mentioned, Don. 43 a year ago. First pitch he sees in the American League, home run. And it's on an 89-mile-an-hour fastball from Pedro Martinez. They try to go inside. The ball stays out over the plate. And Javi Lopez right down the line for the home run.
Here's Jake Gibbons, who enjoyed a breakout season last year for the Orioles. Led the Orioles in runs, RBIs, hits. And 100 RBIs last year for the first time. He's named the MVP of this Orioles squad last year. Really one of the only standouts for the Baltimore Orioles in 2003. On the ground and through into right field. Well, a home run and now a single to begin things here in the second inning.
And another mislocation there by Pedro. That was a changeup. He wanted it down and away, but the ball stays out over the plate. And it becomes much easier for a left-handed hitter to hit that changeup that's down and in, obviously, than the one that's down and away.
Well, David Segui, the DH, has had a hard time staying healthy over the course of his career last year in 67 games. 3 trips on the disabled list a year ago. Ended up going on the DL for the 3rd and final time, July 27th, to repair a tendon in his left wrist. Here goes the runner. The pitch, swing and a miss. Throw down on the tardy side from Varitek, and the end of second base goes Gibbons.
Red Sox caught sleeping there. Gibbons is not a guy that generally steals bases, and all of a sudden, watch Varitek's reaction. It's almost like he didn't even know he was going. So the Orioles being very aggressive. Gibbons last year had no steals, caught 1 time.
Look out. And darting out of the way was Segui. And he gets hit with that pitch. He'll head down to first base. Segui and Pedro Martinez are very good friends.
Yeah, now it's a fastball. That's interesting because remember in spring training we had a shot of Segui helping out Pedro with his mechanics. Well, Pedro rewards him with one off the shoulder blade. They wanted to go in with a fastball, too far in.
And here's what you were just talking about, Jerry, from spring training.
Exhibition game where when Pedro was finished, Segui was telling him he didn't have his arm up high enough, and Pedro appreciates that from Segui, his close friend, and now he repays him by drilling him.
Right now, Pedro a little bit all over the place as he sends Larry Bigby to the deck.
Squaring around the bunt. And that ball right about the knees. There's nothing you can do except try to jump away from him. You know, the one to Segui may have been a purpose pitch. They got a home run, a base hit. Pedro saying, okay, everybody's too comfortable. That last pitch was just mislocated.
He'll be showing bunt again, and he's got to jump out of the way. Did he offer?
Yeah, he did.
Apparently he did. He punched at it, and it's now 1-1. As they check with Alfonso Marquez at third.
And the Oriole fans right now having a little fun with Pedro.
Bigby bunting no longer as he swings and fouls that pitch off 1-2.
That was the cut fastball there from Pedro, and Bigby now, after starting trying to bunt, finds himself in a 1-2 hole.
Runners at first and second, nobody out. Orioles now on top, 1-0. Little nubber. Martinez off the mound, looks at second, but throws by the first baseman Millar. This will score Gibbons. Segui stops at third, up to second base goes Bigby. The Orioles pad their lead now on top, 2-0.
This has been a sloppy inning for the Red Sox. Varitek was caught by surprise on a steal. Now Pedro just makes a bad throw to first base. He peeks towards second. He's a little bit off balance on the throw. It gets by Millar, and a gift run for the Orioles. See how Pedro, his left leg was facing second base, and he's throwing wide open to first base. That makes that ball sail. And the Orioles pick up another run, still have nobody out in second and third.
Error charge to Pedro Martinez. No RBI for Bigby, who now stands at second. David Segui at third. 2 runs in. And here's the number 9 hitter, Luis Matos. Matos in 109 games last year had a fine first season with the Orioles. And another very good spring training this year, hitting at .333 during the spring. Matos began last year AAA Ottawa in the Orioles organization, joined the Orioles in late May, and then became the everyday center fielder the remainder of the season. Pedro chant going up here again at Camden Yards.
Red Sox playing the infield back at second and short, still early in the ball game with nobody out in the inning. Millar about even with the bag at first. So pretty much any contact here, with the exception of back to the pitcher or first base, are going to get another run.
This one slashed foul off the right side. And Matos hangs alive, 1-2. Pedro forced to throw more pitches to the number 9 hitter.
Yeah, that fastball there at 90 miles an hour, and that's the one that was elevated. That's the one he wanted to get upstairs to pick up the strikeout.
It's already been a 5-pitch at bat to Matos. 16 pitches this inning, and still nobody out. Line to left, in for a hit. Segui scores from third. Bigby will be stopped at third as the Orioles have scored 3 times so far here in the bottom of the second inning.
Take a look at the grip of Pedro Martinez on this pitch. It looked like it might have been a changeup that he threw, but I'll tell you again, it's up about thigh high, and Matos, the number 9 hitter, drives in the run. So they are having some good swings this inning against Pedro Martinez, plus some sloppy play.
30 pitches for Pedro Martinez, 22 for strikes. Well, the Orioles have gotten to him 3 times so far here in the second inning. Still nobody out. The inning began, of course, with the solo home run by Javier Lopez. Let's tell the tape on that one, 370. Back up to the top of the order for Brian Roberts. Bounced out to shortstop his first time up.
I would expect the Orioles here to try to keep the pressure on. You've got a guy at first base in Matos that has some speed. When you get a team back on their heels like the Red Sox are now, you might want to keep some pressure on them.
And a stolen base this inning from Jake Gibbons. It was called a strike, and it's 1-1. Roberts, like a lot of these Orioles, last year began the year at AAA's. You look at Lee Mazzillion, his first year as the Baltimore manager. There goes the runner at first. The pitch misses, and the throw from Varitek not in time. Another theft. Matos this time stealing second.
That's the kind of baseball I like, Don. You know, when you've got a team like the Red Sox right now in this particular inning, they're having trouble getting it out. They've made a couple of blunders. They're swinging the bat pretty well. Keep the pressure on. That was almost like a pitch out, but still no chance at second base to get Matos. Matos had 15 a year ago.
So now 2 in scoring position with nobody out. Pedro behind 2-1. Now 3-1.
A little different lineup, isn't it, the Orioles than a year ago?
I guess so. The Red Sox last year were 10-9 against the Orioles in 19 meetings, and certainly they are much better in 2004. And really, all the teams in the American League East have gotten a little bit better. Now those Tampa Bay matchups, the Toronto matchup, and the Baltimore matchups, all 19 games between the Red Sox and those teams, makes it much tougher. Many think that the wild card team may not likely come out of the American League East. Swing and a miss, and Pedro Martinez gets a strikeout here, just his first of the night. Couldn't come at a better time.
Now that's what he desperately needed. A couple of men in scoring position. Pedro certainly needed the strikeout bad.
We're told that Bronson Arroyo would be in the bullpen tonight. He is scheduled to get the start in the home opener for the Red Sox on Friday. And he is now up in the pen. Here's Melvin Mora.
I know this is early, Don, but this is huge not to allow these other runs to score. I mean, you know, going down 5-0 early, not a good thing.
Mora reached on an infield hit his first time up. Mora, the 7th Oriole to bat here in the second inning. And so far scored 3 times. And the breaking ball in there for a strike.
Yeah, one of the few curveballs that Pedro has thrown so far in this game, and I don't think it's exactly where he wanted this pitch to go. It stayed inside. You see Veritek sets up away, but the curveball stayed inside. Actually ended up being a knee buckler for Melvin Mora.
Disagrees as he takes the strike. 1 and 2.
And with the men in scoring position, the velocity on Pedro's fastballs got a little bit better. The last few fastballs have been 91.
Stays alive as he fights it off foul to the backstop. Last year, Melvin Mora, the Orioles' lone all-star representative. Last year, a career high for him in an injury-marred season, hitting at .317. This year, trying to make the transition to the everyday third baseman for the Orioles. Evens up now at 2 and 2. Seventh opening day start for Pedro Martinez as Miguel Tejada waits on deck. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout for Pedro. And it is now back-to-back Ks for Martinez. Mora goes down, still runners at second and third.
Second and third, the strikeout to Roberts on a fastball. This is the changeup for the strikeout on Mora. It's like Mora didn't want to leave home plate, like he couldn't believe that was 3 strikes.
I wonder why he wasn't moving.
Maybe he thought they changed the rules this year to 4 strikes and you're out.
The next pitch from Pedro Martinez will be the 30th of the inning. And the second time that he'll face Miguel Tejada tonight. Tejada flying out to center field his first time up. Signing as a free agent in the offseason to a 6-year contract. He spent all 7 years of his major league career with the Oakland A's. On the right field line, Millar on the run, but that'll land back into the seats. And the Tart down the right field line. Now, so much has been made about Pedro's velocity. Spring training, he talked to us about the fact that he is older, a lot of wear and tear on the arm, but him in the 88-89 range, you have to wonder if there's maybe something physically wrong with Pedro.
No, I don't think so, Don. You know, we've seen pretty much the same thing the last couple of years, a little bit higher than what it's been, but he's had a couple 91, 92 this inning. The one that Lopez hit a home run on the first pitch, that was not a very good fastball. Believe me, he wouldn't be out there pitching if he was in any way hurt.
Not 100%.
Right.
But the velocity of old certainly gone. He comes inside that time to Tejada.
See, the key with Pedro, whether it be 88, 89, and 94, he's got to locate it. And he's always been able to do that exceptionally well.
Bigby at third, Matos at second. They were there with nobody out. They're there now with 2 down in the inning.
See, almost every fastball he has thrown now with the men in scoring position have been 90 plus. 90, 91, 92.
A little more juice.
Yeah.
Dave Wallace, the interim, taking off the pitching coach's label. The Red Sox right out of the gate this season in spring training. Looking on as Pedro tries to get out of the second inning. Tejada juices one to center field. Damon heading back towards the track. The wind playing with it, but Johnny runs it down. The Orioles come up with 3. The end of 2. Baltimore on top 3-0.
The wonder of it all. Take a chance, make it happen. Pop the cork, fingers snapping. Spin the wheel, round and round we go. Life is good, life is sweet. Grab yourself a front row seat. Let's meet and have a ball. Yeah, let's live for the wonder of it all. Meet me at Foxwoods.
The greatest thing I see when I look from you to me, it's the differences that make life interesting.
McDonald's Filet-O-Fish sandwich. It's the difference everyone can appreciate.
I'm loving it.
Now's the time to get great Toyota values. $750 cash back on a quality-built Toyota Camry is a lot to like. Or you could get 0% APR financing. Or choose Highlander and get first-time ever cash back of $500 on all models, including those with available all-wheel drive and third-row seating. Toyota's nationwide sales event with legendary quality and incredible selection ends April 5th. Hey, what's not to like?
You got ID? Okay.
Nothing goes better with leftovers than some ice-cold Pepsi. It's the cola.
Going to McDonald's? Try our premium salads with warm chicken, Cobb, Bacon Ranch, or Caesar, all made fresh.
I'm loving it.
Oh, wait a minute, Bojack. Back in Baltimore, the Orioles on top now 3-0. So we head to the top of the third. For every run of the Red Sox catch stealing this season on Nesson, you have a chance to win a LoJack stolen vehicle recovery system. Log on to Nesson.com and enter the date, opponent, and runner's name for your chance to win the LoJack caught stealing sweepstakes. Top of the third, Mark Bellhorn getting a start at second base for the Red Sox. Bellhorn acquired from the Rockies for a player to be named later in December of this past offseason. He's 29 years of age and making his Red Sox debut tonight in his 10th professional season. And very versatile. He's played in every position, the pitcher and catcher, in his big league career. That has included time with the Oakland A's, Chicago Cubs, and the Colorado Rockies. He is a switch hitter, opting to bat from the left side against the right-handed pitching Sidney Ponson. Rattles this one to center field. Matos is headed back at the track to make the catch in front of the wall. Bellhorn gives it a ride.
Now, there have been a couple of balls hit pretty good out towards center field tonight. Look like they may carry out toward the wall, but they're falling short. Matos on his horse going back to the warning track just in front of the wall. That ball hit a long way by Bellhorn.
Going down, and here's Pokey Reese. Jumps back out of the way.
Now you got to wonder if there's going to be some kind of retaliation for Pedro hitting Segui. You got to be careful. You got to pick your spots.
Sidney Ponson working with a 3-0 lead, which was not much of an issue for last year's edition of the Red Sox to make that go away.
I've always felt it's kind of dumb, you know, when teams come out, regardless of the score of the game, and, you know, retaliate right away. It doesn't make much sense. If they felt that was intentional, there's plenty of time to retaliate. They didn't even have to be tonight.
Apparently, you have 18 more games after tonight to get square.
Yeah, exactly.
A very rough second inning for Pedro Martinez. This is popped up foul. Get back and out of play. Pokey Reese, a career .251 hitter, making his Red Sox debut tonight. Signed as a free agent. He's 30 years of age and has 2 Gold Gloves to his credit as a second baseman, but of course getting the start tonight at shortstop for the Red Sox. And we'll take the walk here with 1 down. Just the first walk served up by Sidney Ponson. Now the league leaders are brought to you by Volvo, the official vehicle of the Boston Red Sox. Well, of course, the batting average last year, the batting title, Bill Miller. He and Manny Ramirez were tied on the last day, heading into that last day, but of course Miller won it. Albert Pujols, .359, just edging out Todd Helton, the Colorado Rockies. So 1 down, Pokey Reese at first base. Thanks to the first walk of the night given up by Sidney Ponson. And here's Johnny Damon, who grounded out to shortstop his first time up.
It was interesting, Francona today in his conference with the media prior to the ball game talking about the running game. He's got 2 guys, Reese and Damon, who obviously have great ability to steal bases, and it didn't sound like he was going to run all that much, depending on situations and games. He feels like with the lineup the Red Sox have, they don't want to run into outs. I don't know, I got the impression he didn't seem like he was going to be, leave anybody on their own with the green light.
In fact, he was asked about Pokey Reese, and he said, well, right in the right situation, he knows when he can run. And he said again, they want to give up outs, and it sounds like that's sort of going to be the way it is. It'll be interesting to see the tendencies of Terry Francona, which we will this summer. Different chair for Terry Francona this season from last year. Last year, the bench coach for the Oakland Athletics under Ken Maka. He was talking about that relationship today before the game, saying that he'd go into Maka's office some nights and say, well, I know you're not going to sleep tonight, but I am. It's different now as the manager. He said his days of sleep are over as his 2004 campaign begins tonight. Side. Do you get the impression that Terry Francona realizes what he's got himself into here with the Red Sox as a manager?
I'm not sure yet. No, I can't, to be honest with you. Spring training is much more relaxed and laid back, obviously, than the regular season. I know about the Philadelphia experience, but that's for different times there. Those clubs were not real good. This is a club that is expected to win. It'll be interesting to follow as the season goes on.
A great deal of pressure following a guy that had 2 90-plus win seasons, did get the team to the American League Championship Series last year. And really more is expected this year. It's kind of a tough way to begin your career as a manager. That's where he begins here tonight. Johnny Damon with a count of 2-2. Pokey Reese at first.
For teams that like to run and have a lot of speed, 3 runs certainly don't scare them away from that early in a ball game. It may later on in the game, but not early.
Damon nubs it down the first baseline. Ponson gets it and fires it. And out will be Damon.
Yeah,
running inside the line.
Yeah, he was inside the 3-foot line. Both feet, I believe, were inside that white line, and that's the reason he was called out. Damon's going to question it, but I think it's a very good call by the umpire. Home plate umpire Rick Reed making the call. This will be a great view coming down the line. Little tap. See where Damon is now. Now let's see if he gets back inside the line. He did for a while, but then he came back outside, and that's the reason he was called out.
Terry Francona out there to discuss it. But the home plate umpire, Rick Reed, who makes that call.
Johnny went inside the line for about 3 or 4 steps, but then you could clearly see that he came back outside that line, and you have to have both feet on the line. There's inside, there's back outside. That's when the throw happened, and that's why the out call was made. It's a good call.
So the out at first, they return Pokey Reese to first base. With 2 outs in the inning now, and here's Bill Miller. Miller bounced out to shortstop his first time up. Last year, as we mentioned, Bill Miller, the .326 batting average. That was 40 points higher above his former career mark high from 2 seasons ago. He slaps this one foul off the left side.
Red Sox arrived in Baltimore last night, I'd say somewhere around 8 o'clock, and as they were getting off the team bus, there had to be a group of maybe, I don't know, what would you say, 50 to 75 Red Sox fans waiting for him. And I happened to catch Schilling's comment as he walked into the, he said, well, I guess this is not Arizona.
No. Fouled off the left side. Yeah, he looked at Brad Mills, the Red Sox bench coach, who last year was with Montreal. He said, I guess he didn't get this traveling around the Expos, huh? There's Brad Mills in his first season as bench coach under Terry Francona. Part of some of the additions to the Red Sox coaching staff, which also include Dale Swain, the third base coach for the Red Sox. Let it go. They'll check at third. Alfonso Marquez says no. And it's 2-2 to Bill Miller.
I think the players are cold out there tonight. How about the umpires? Oof. They don't get to move around very much.
And we again are very fortunate that these are the conditions. As Miller in the air to short left. Bigby was playing very deep, and that will fall for a base hit. Reese up to second base, and the inning continues.
Little inside-out bloop to left field. Very protective swing with 2 strikes on Bill Miller, and Bill gets good results out of it. Ball hit high enough, but as you mentioned, Bigby was playing deep and had no chance to catch up to it.
So runners at first and second with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. Manny Ramirez with a single to right field his first time up. First, Pokey Reese at second with 2 outs. And Ponson backing off. Jerry, the forecast for tonight, as you mentioned, was snow and sleet. Last year, the Baltimore Orioles opened up here at home against the Cleveland Indians. Ellis Burks was here with the Cleveland Indians, and it was actually physically snowing here at Camden Yards last year. And we expected much the same here tonight. He takes a strike 1-1, and here's a look at the Orioles opening day last year. Tough to play through that, Joe.
That's that light, fluffy snow. You could play in that, Don.
They kind of wrap things up after that.
It's almost melting as soon as it hits their hat.
Fluffy, but blinding, I would say. The great numbers in this situation for Manny Ramirez a year ago. As he bats with Pokey Reese at second, Bill Miller at first, and 2 down. 237 home runs last year for Manny Ramirez. Drove in 104 runs. Leading the American League for the second straight year in a row with a .427 on base percentage. And the strike evens things at 2-2. Ponson steering into Javi Lopez. And he grounds it off Ponson and into center field. Around from second comes Pokey Reese with the first Red Sox run of the season. And it's now 3-1 Baltimore as Reese scores from second base, and Manny Ramirez is 2 for 2 tonight.
And a big 2-out base hit for Ramirez right back through the middle, and it looks like Sidney Ponson kicks it. It looked like it was going to deflect more toward Tejada, but it went directly back up the middle. Tejada couldn't get to it, and the Red Sox get on the board to make it a 3-1 game. So Manny 2 for 2 picks up his first RBI. How many times do you see where it hits a pitcher in the leg like that and goes directly to either a shortstop or a second baseman?
Here's David Ortiz, a strikeout victim his first time. One of 2 Ks tonight for Sidney Ponson. This one fouled down the left field line. Ortiz last year in 128 games for the Red Sox. 31 home runs. They ended up finishing 5th in the MVP voting last year behind some pretty good players. Alex Rodriguez, of course, won it. Carlos Delgado, Jorge Posada, and Shannon Stewart. And he gets a new bat here with the count of 0-1. 60 pitches so far for Sidney Ponson.
Now, this game has not been played at a blistering pace so far. A lot of pitches thrown.
Well, you think it'd be very tough for David Ortiz and Bill Miller to duplicate what they did a year ago. But with the depth his team now possesses and the pitching staff his team now possesses, and defense, they may not need the kinds of offensive outputs that both those guys had last year.
Well, they're going to need it early because you have 2 major contributors to that offense, Nomar, obviously, and Trot Nixon, who are not going to be part of this lineup for a while. So, you know, some of these guys are really going to have to pick it up. It is not the same lineup without those 2 guys.
That gentleman walked off the mound 18 minutes ago. As the Red Sox get their first run of the night, continue to bat in the 3rd. This is a mile high down the 3rd base line. Mora dancing with the wind, but he comes up with it to conclude the inning. The Red Sox do get 1 run back after 2.5. It's 3-1 Baltimore.
The greatest thing I see when I look from you to me, it's the differences that make life interesting.
McDonald's Filet-O-Fish sandwich. It's the difference everyone can appreciate.
I'm loving it.
Hey, you want a ride? No, thanks, man. Hey, need a lift? Thanks anyway.
With best-in-class low-end torque, highest available payload, and the strongest frame in its class, there's only one real choice for a go-to guy. Ford F-150.
Hey, man, hop on in.
At the roomiest, most luxurious interior in its class, and it's no wonder Ford F-150, the leader for 27 straight years, is now the 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year.
So where are you headed? Boston. Gotta break an 86-year-old curse.
See your New England Ford dealer.
Going to McDonald's? Try our premium salads with warm chicken, Cobb, Bacon Ranch, or Caesar, all made fresh. I'm loving it.
Red Sox Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you by Subaru, by Aflac, and by your New England Dodge dealers. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back at Camden Yards. 3-1, Orioles on top. Pedro Martinez working into the third inning. The Orioles getting to him for 3 runs in their half of the second inning, including a throwing error by Pedro that continued the inning and led to a run. They face Rafael Palmeiro, Javi Lopez, and Jay Gibbons. Palmeiro with a single to left his first time up, and 5 Baltimore hits. Kapler heading back towards the track to reel this one in for out number 1.
Last April, Pedro Martinez at Fenway Park against these Orioles had a very, very rough outing. In 4 1/3 innings, 9 hits allowed to 10 earned runs. And it was a rough start tonight for Pedro as Grady Little takes the ball from him early in the ball game there. But you know, you take that game away from Pedro, and his numbers against the Orioles are incredible.
And even with that outing, his numbers were incredible last season. If you take that outing into account, led the American League with a 2.22 earned run average, even with that outing factored in. Obviously the worst outing of Pedro Martinez's career, and it compared very well to the 2000 season.
1.74 ERA, 284 strikeouts in the year 2000 for Pedro Martinez. Right now, can't control the curveball. That's 2 he's tried to throw to Javi Lopez, and I mentioned earlier, on a cold night, it's tough to get the grip on that breaking ball.
Javi Lopez with a home run. His first time up in an Orioles uniform. Lopez with 42 home runs as a catcher. The Atlanta Braves. Facing Pedro in the National League many times.
Also an interleague play over the last few years when the Atlanta Braves were playing the Red Sox. He had a pretty good rip at that 3-1 pitch, didn't he?
Fouled it straight back.
Payoff pitch. Back to Pedro, off of him and out towards third baseman Bill Miller holding on to it, and ill-advised really to throw at that point. He was behind the mound and had no chance in Lopez, who runs pretty good for a catcher.
But Pedro had himself in pretty good position to make this play on the ball hit back through the middle, but it just ricochets right out of the glove. It's one hop to the glove, but not in the glove. Pedro, who falls off toward that first base side, actually that time was a help to him because he was at least able to get the glove to the ball, but couldn't catch it.
So 1 out, 1 on, and here's Jay Gibbons. Singled his first time up. And came around to score the second Orioles run. Now 2-0. Eric Fried is with us tonight. Let's check in with her.
And I'm freezing, Don. Simply put, 43 degrees is the joke of the night. I'm here with Angelo, Mom and Dad. There's tons of Red Sox fans, as you mentioned before. And you showed a couple of minutes ago, Ellis Burks playing in the snow. The last 2 openers here at Camden Yards, they've had snow, and there's the threat floating around. 43 degrees at game time, I doubt it.
It's a second for 1 on to first, a double play that Pedro Martinez needed there to get out of the third. He played 3. Baltimore on top, 3-1.
Things around my house are confusing enough, so it was time to make some changes. And that's why I decided to start fresh with Adelphia high-speed internet. It's brought order out of chaos. Call
now to get your first month free, plus sign up for a digital advantage pack and get a free modem.
Now I can check stocks, stay in touch with the office, and get my work finished fast.
Plus, you're not tying up your phone. Add high-speed internet to one of our value packs and save even more each month. Bring it all home with Adelphia.
Hey, want to talk about hoops? You know, the hoops other wireless companies make you jump through for nationwide calling. Sure, they say they have nationwide calling, but call from outside of their network, and it costs you extra. At Unicell, they make it simple for you. Get true nationwide calling for just $40 monthly access. Imagine, no boundaries, no extra charges, just call anywhere in the country. I told you it was simple.
On September 15th, my son was sentenced to 10 years in prison for a gun crime. That day, he sentenced me to 10 years of worrying if my baby is okay.
When you commit a gun crime, your family pays the price.
On June 4th, my big brother was sentenced to 5 years in prison for a gun crime. That day, he sentenced me to 5 years of walking home alone from school.
When you commit a gun crime, your family pays the price.
To the Orioles on top 3-1. Now time for the Aflac trivia question. Aflac! And our question tonight, can you name the last Red Sox pitcher to win an opening day game in Baltimore? And it is not Hideo Nomo. For those of you who may think that's the case, that was actually game 2 of the 2001 season. The Red Sox won 3-0 at Baltimore, the earliest no-hitter by date. That was not opening night as Pedro Martinez gets a double play to get out of the bottom of the 3rd inning. Millar, Kapler, and Veritek expected here in the 4th inning. Millar bouncing out to shortstop his first time up. Center field, Matos. Almost to the warning track and just to the base of it to take care of out number 1.
Another one of those long fly balls that looked like it was going to go a lot deeper than it actually did. That ball sounded pretty good off the bat for Millar, but Luis Matos, plenty of room to make the catch. Red Sox have had him going back a few times tonight, but not back far enough.
Mark Bellhorn last inning sending it to the warning track in dead center field. As Kapler reached on an error, committed by the Orioles' new 3rd baseman Melvin Mora. Both teams with an error. Ponson made 31 starts last year, the opening day starter for the Orioles. Native becomes the 5th opening day starter in the last 5 years for the Orioles. Rodrigo Lopez last year. Scott Erickson, Pat Henkin, Mike Mussina. And it has changed so much here in Baltimore that Rodrigo Lopez, who was last year's opening day starter, is not even in the rotation to begin this year. He begins the year in the bullpen.
You know, he was knighted last year in Aruba. Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands ignited him.
You ever met Queen Beatrix in any of your visits to Aruba?
No, I haven't. I should ask about that next year.
Because with the kind of money you throw around in Aruba, you should be knighted.
Yeah.
On the ground and out of the reach of diving Brian Roberts. And Kapler aboard with 1 out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Boston Red Sox and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. In addition, the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox. Well, now 1 on. Kapler aboard for the 2nd time tonight, and it brings up Jason Veritek. Veritek, a strikeout victim, his first time up.
I like that at bat from Kapler because normally you see Kapler pull the ball. He likes the ball middle in. And That time he got a pitch away and slapped it to the opposite field for the base hit.
And there for a strike.
It's a nice ceremonies prior to the game here in Baltimore, honoring a lot of their great past. Brooks Robinson was out there, Earl Weaver, Cal Ripken, Jim Palmer, Mike Flanagan, Rick Dempsey. They're trying to bring back that old Oriole feeling that they've lost here over the last few years. There they are out in front of home plate. And there's Ripken.
It's always a little dangerous when they line up the 6. Of course, Bud Selig is here as well. The ceremonial first pitches here from Camden Yards. Tech gets one in on the hands and pops it up back to short to Hada. Right there to make the catch, and there's 2 down.
Oh, we've seen a lot of broken bats early in this ball game. This is only the 4th inning, and there's had to be at least, what, 5 or 6 broken bats. Ponson again going inside, something we expected pitchers would do tonight with these cold conditions. And another splinted bat. That's twice Veritek has done that. That might be a bad order he's got. I mean, that thing's splitting too easy. Lousy wood.
Two down for Mark Bellhorn, who hit one to the track his first time up. We're not alone here tonight, Jerry. I notice the big guys are in from ESPN this evening.
Pat Cavanaugh?
John Miller and Joe Morgan are next door. In there for a strike to Bellhorn. Here they are, the ESPN Sunday night telecasters, telecasting to the rest of the nation.
I don't think Joe looks too interested in what John has to say there.
Whatever John's offering is not grabbing Joe's attention. This may, though. Bellhorn sends it down towards the corner. Kapler heading for 3rd, and Swain will stop him there. As Bellhorn, who has hit the ball hard for the 2nd time tonight, has something to show for it this time with a double.
Yeah, he really does. He hit the ball well to center field in his first at bat, very deep. And now he puts it on a line. He had a terrible spring, average well below 200, but just shows you what the spring means. All the way down to that corner. Now the relay throw is going to come in towards second base, but they still have no option but to hold the runner there, because certainly Tejada from that spot could have spun around and thrown him out at home plate.
So a chance here for the Red Sox with 2 in scoring position and 2 down. As they trail by 2, here's Pokey Reese, who walked his first time up. The Red Sox last year against the Orioles 10-9 in the 19 meetings. The Red Sox won 5 of 9 games played at Camden Yards. They split the 10 games at Fenway Park. Opens up at 1-1 to Pokey Reese.
Outfield pretty much straight away for Pokey Reese. The Orioles playing him straight up, both in the infield and the outfield.
Dropping the butt down off the mound is Ponson, who flips underhanded. It's really a strange time to be bunting, as Reese does to